October's Jefflin's in the garage Saturday the 21st, staying around the house this weekend. Day 6 of social distancing, and on day 5 we decided to go to the ocean. Not a lot of people out and about, and we didn't stop anywhere and do any socializing or eating or whatever. We just got gas, went straight to Florida, fished all day, came back last night, enjoyed ourselves, and so today and tomorrow we'll get to work on the car some. My job is still, we're still working. Most everybody where we're at, even though there hadn't been a case of this mess, most everybody's off for a couple weeks. They've shut down pretty much everything except the essentials, which, food, hospitals, liquor stores, stuff like that. So we'll take advantage of the weekend, the rest of the weekend, and get out here and do some work on the car. We looked through the manual. We kind of refreshed our memory on some of this stuff, and we'll get started putting it together. We've got to round up a few things. The hood catch assembly that mounts in here. We've got a new hood latch or catch that we ordered way back here, and I think all that mounts right up under the hood, so we'll just kind of lay it right there. Our core brackets, we've got them with the bushings that we made way back, the aluminum bushings. We'll put those on. We'll try to round up some other stuff that we're going to need to finish up the front end, hinges, all that good stuff. And when we do, we'll bring you along. October's just scrounging around in the other part of the shop. We've got piles of parts everywhere. We've got old boat motors hanging around. I want to think that some of the stuff we're going to need is in here. Bumper stuff, bumper brackets. Of course, all of our bolts and stuff we've got laid out here. There. Headlight bezel deals. We'll need those. What I'm looking for is the hinges. I don't know. Let's see if they're in the blast cabinet. Nope. Bad gum. I know I got them somewhere. I see one part of it I need. Right there. Yep, there's the old hood latch. And if I recall, we're missing a spring that goes there. There to there. We'll get us a spring. But for now, we can assemble it. It does have to be re-sandblasted. We took that long 6-8 month break, and everything's kind of, what I didn't paint's flashing. So we'll go through this mess, find the hinges, and I think that's, other than the lower valence, we got to dig it out. We'll see. All right. After some assembly, we'll bring you along and let you take a look where we're headed, what direction we're taking. The hood latch assembly is in, all 4 bolts lined up. This, of course, I keep going back to this because eventually somewhere it's going to probably bite me, and I'm going to have to do some modification, and I think it already has. Anyway, aftermarket part, original part to the car. Fortunately, all 4 of these bolt holes lined up perfectly. The bracket or the support for the lower valence and the header panel is lined up fairly good. The 2 bolts, this one and this one underneath here. We went ahead, tightened up the header panel. The gaps on the header panel are really good, I think. Compared to probably what it looked like when they built it. That's what everybody tells me anyway. if you recall, we had to do some modification when we first got the header panel. The holes would not line up to the bottom part, and I couldn't flush this up either way. But now we put those tabs in and re-drilled the hole in the right spot. They work. Both sides had to have that done. Both sides. So one issue, hopefully it's not too big of an issue. This support in the center, the manual shows a bolt going through this hole. Wait a minute, there's no hole. Okay, so there's about a finger width gap with this thing just sitting there. It'll go back to the core pretty easily. But what it does is it pulls its nose down. If you'll look, I'll try to do it with my foot. You'll see it pulling that nose down. It flexes the fenders outward. So I'm going to leave this piece loose for now. That being one of the reasons. The other reason is there's no hole in it, so I'll have to take that off. I'm not sure if there was any kind of shimming going on back here from the factory to make that nose look right. Obviously, when you get the lower valence in and you put the grille in there, that's going to probably dictate whether this thing has to be pushed back to make it all look right. I don't know for sure. But when we come to that point, we'll figure it out. Bumper brackets. The headlight buckets or bezels or whatever you want to call them, we can stick those in, make sure all that stuff bolts up. The supports from the fender to the header panel on the sides or to the core, got to dig them out. I don't ever recall seeing those. I might not even have any, so I might have to order them. We dug out the hinges, and it's not a pretty situation like the rest of the car. They're pretty much junk, and they're already in the trash can. This one has a bolt through it right here, which I'm sure this bolt would be in the way of something. I had not blasted them. I had taken them out and set them over on the back side of the blast machine, but I had not noticed that bolt was in there, and it's been welded on and piddled with, and they're just old, crusty, in pretty bad shape. I can buy a set online for 115 bucks and not have to worry about repairing something that's probably about worn out anyway. I'm sure those holes where the pins run through are oblong, worn out, and that'll just be a nightmare, a bigger headache when it comes time for that. So we'll get a set of hinges. We'll figure this out. We'll attack the lower valence, which I've got laying there, and we'll keep bolting stuff up. And once we get a little further along, we'll turn it back on for you. Hot tub was still hanging out in the garage Saturday afternoon, and I don't remember that lower valence going on that good the first time I tried it. Maybe getting those fenders right or pretty close to right, and I've only got one bolt in there. That just folds right back in place. I've got one under each edge, and I've got these in and snugged up because I want to test fit the grill. We drilled that one and ran a bolt in the core. We put the valence on, marked about where we thought it was, and drilled a big enough hole. It fell right into place pretty sweet. So not too terrible. Actually, it's pretty daggone good for me. I'm liking it. I'm liking it. All right, tubers. We're going to keep progressing for a little ways on this afternoon before we call it quits. But that's where we at. All right. Well, now, isn't that a daisy? All right, we're gonna call it quits. Been out here hard all afternoon. For those of y'all following along, I know that's not correct, but I'm not building a correct car. If I was, I'd be wasting my time. This is not a 70. It's not a Z28, and it's not a super sport car, but we're gonna try to make it into a hot rod. So I'm gonna put stuff on there that I like, and I like this grill much better than I like that old big 72 grill. I just think this one looks so much better. So that's where we're at today. I know I don't have the bumper brackets on yet. I do not have those filler panels. I have them somewhere. I think I saw them earlier over here with a bunch of cobwebs on them. So I've got them. But again, that's something I need to check. I need to make sure I don't have to drill those out later or whatever. But the main thing was to get the lower valence on and make sure that it'll bolt up and that I can bolt it up easily. It wasn't a bit of trouble at all. It would have been much easier if I'd had somebody holding one in. And I'll do that when we do the final assembly of the car. So, but for now, I accomplished kind of what I wanted to accomplish on the front end of the car. I do need to locate these braces from here to here, if I've got them. If not, I need to get them. I want to put those on. I want to re-square this thing. I hadn't done that yet, but the way everything's bolting up, it's got to be fairly close. I did slide that core over just a little to get this point, these points lining up better here. It was off just a little top to bottom. So we did that, and we like the way it looks. So we're just gonna hang loose for a little bit. I need to find those braces if I got them. I need to order them if I don't. As soon as we do that, we're gonna try to fill up these big holes with the skirts. The front end is I mean, it's on there pretty good. We snugged everything up, but we didn't really torque anything down. There's no sense in doing all that. My bottom braces, I'm gonna stick those on. These I'm gonna stick on, and then we'll drop back over on the skirts, and we're just gonna leave everything as is and go with it like it is till we get the skirts right. I got a feeling there's gonna be some pretty heavy modifications done, and that's okay. That's what we talked about doing, was modifying them if we had to, and not the fenders. So we'll check, see how much time we got. We might have enough time for a video. I try to stay around 12 or 14 minutes. And the reason why is it's my attention span. I know it's hard for me to sit down and watch a 30, 45 minute video. So we try to keep them short and sweet, and maybe not sweet, but short. So if we got enough, you'll see it. If not, we'll keep adding to it. All right, tubers, we'll bring you back.